Try to make a small motion. I've made too big of a motion with my knife. When you feel like this on cross step, don't do this. That's a superfluous movement. Just do this.
So just so that you guys know, this is kind of routine training. This is just line familiarization, and a lot of what we're doing is just although it's not choreographed sets, we're not going after each other. This isn't like high-level sparring. We're not fighting. We're just doing our basic line familiarization training. There's tons of stuff that we do that we don't put on tape because one, people wouldn't be able to follow it, and two, you know, it's training stuff for us. But there's a lot more stuff that hasn't been shown yet.
All right, now we're just going to noodle. Noodling is a chance to try things, experiment, not being over concerned with winning or losing, more fun, but not also being entirely sloppy either. So we do this a lot. You can noodle for hours, but you can only fight for about 20 minutes before your nervous system is exhausted. That's what we found. If we're fighting to 5-round points, about 20 minutes, a half an hour, and your nerves are done. You don't want to do it anymore. But you can noodle for a long time. So I'm going to work on my 12-inch Bowie. Now, I don't have a big guard on this, so I have to tell myself, this isn't a Bowie knife, but I do have a bit long point, that. So, and I have a really stiff blade. So I can parry there, and I've got this, I switched off to a Voyager Tanto. And I took that Tanto tip and I just stabbed him with that rising thrust. And this is a really good way to stab somebody in the hand. Let me show you this. With a Tanto point, you come up and you stick that tip right in their hand like that. And that point's going to go in. That chisel edge there is going to split that finger in half. So if you go between the fingers, you're going to probably split one finger all the way in half with that sharp chisel tip. It's not going to work very good after you stab it. Now, there I got stuck here. I was stuck here, and you notice I had to step back to clear that. This didn't work. And I swear at this hand a lot, don't I? Get to work! You have to make your live hand work sometimes. Because this one is facile, especially if your one shoulder is a little further forward. If you go back and forth like this. But when I do that, this hand is less available to stab. The more I blade, the further away this is. The less I blade, the more I can use this hand. Now, he cut me here, but I snap cut it in here first. This is the question. With lots of knives, I wonder, did I get a bite? But when I snap cut him here, that ain't firing. I don't think so. When I take this 12-inch blade and go like that, I don't think, bah! Out of an abundance of caution, I should have picked that up. I should have done this, that. I should have come over here and picked that up too. Now he's trying to tie this both up. I should have done that. As soon as he ties both blades up, you can come here with that snap cut. I don't know, I'm going to go slow so you can see that. He ties this up, he crosses it, there. He crosses it. I should sneak it in underneath his arm, stick him in the belly, the soft spot of his belly. That's the best. When someone crosses, if I go over the top, he might lift. But when he's crossed here, it's hard for him to go down, isn't it? It's easier for you to lift, isn't it? It's easier for it to come up than to drop into thinness. See? Couldn't get to it, could you? You could have lifted it. If it went over your lift with that arm, you could stop it. But this way here, it's very hard for him to go down and pick that up. So there is advantage in this. Walk in and push me back. See, he can walk you, yeah. Take my balance, push me back, control me, turn me. There's advantages to that. There's also, you have to be aware, especially fighting somebody like me, I might come to that hand. Lots of times I'll come here. If they think I'm going to come here, I'll come to this side and stab that hand. Or I'll come here and stab deep up underneath his armpit like I did there. Or even this way, when I get here, I'll just lift. Try to make a small motion. I've made too big of a motion with my knife. When you feel like this on cross step, don't do this. That's a superfluous movement. Just do this. I did this. I kicked my ass. And he points that out to me sometimes too. Don't make any unnecessary motion before you go. Don't prep at all. Don't do this. Why do I do this? I think I have a clear line. But I still have a clear line right there. I still have it. So I'm trying to train constantly myself to be my best. There, I had to use the back of my blade to slap with. Couldn't turn my edge in time. I was here. I wanted to do that. Couldn't pull it off. So I took the back of the blade and hit him on the hand with it. Will it do much damage? Could not. Don't know. But I didn't get stabbed. That's the main thing. And when you're noodling, again, from time to time, let him cut you and stab you. You know? If we're not going hard, sometimes I'll let him hit me because I want this hand to breach at the last minute to save me. You see how much success I'm having with this, a live hand with a short blade against the Bowie versus the machete, against the saber or cutlass. This hand battles to defend. Against a shorter 12-inch blade, it's really useful. I can do a lot of work with that. But with that long blade, it changes distances and positions so radically, it's hard for me to cover it with the short blade. I really struggle. We all do. But it's ever so much better to have something in this hand than nothing. See, I still got that. Now, he cut me here on the side, flat. He didn't pull, he chopped. But I stuck him, I can still see where I hit it, right there in the lungs. With a Tanto point, a fresh 5.5-inch serrated Tanto point, that power, if I didn't hit a rib, going all the way in. 5.5 inches in his chest.